Hey everybody,
Hey.
Welcome to Kitchen Talk again. It's been a while.
We're back. And
We're
we have with us
back.
also Matthew.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Matthew Terrell and Eric Cole.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about trust.
And we're also talking about it out of the kitchen, even though it's kitchen talk.
Yes,
because there's something scary in the kitchen.
There's this big fat cricket that is so darn loud.
Eric is afraid of the kitchen talk. Cricket talks and the kitchen talks.
Yeah. So we thought it would be annoying for you, so we're out here.
I don't know, it might provide some interesting comedic effects. So if we don't have anything to say, there's that cricket just there in the background. Just
Chirp. Chirp.
That's so cliche.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so to begin with trust, I trust Terrell to keep talking with me, so there's no big awkward pause.
And I'm nibbling on a sugar cookie and sipping on coffee, so there will be pauses in between my talk. Matthew?
Yeah, and I'm really good at that. Just okay, yeah, I like what's going on. I can.
Moral support.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you talked for 2 hours on our car drive the other day. So I'm pretty sure you can keep it going for 20 minutes.
I no comment on that.
Great. In the coffee shop with us, we also have Amber. Hi, Amber.
Hello.
And Jess. She smiled through her glasses.
Yes.
And Safi, or
Hi.
Cheekbones. And we have Christy on the guitar. Can you strum something? There we go.
There
That's
you go.
Christy. That's who's with us today. So, trust.
Yes.
What about it?
Well, it's like you gotta build trust. You can't just walk up to a random stranger on the street and trust them to like keep your phone or something.
So, there's the cricket sound now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have trust issues?
Depends on the person.
So, who do you trust the most?
Let's see, the man upstairs.
Oh. But we're on one level story right here. I'm so confused.
Just-
There's a cricket in the kitchen and there's a man upstairs. Oh, wow, our house is haunted. Just kidding.
You're a one-man story.
I am a one-man story. Don't tell him my last name. It's okay. It's not Story. I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh gosh.
All right. So trust, Matthew. What about you?
Who do I trust the most? I don't think about this often. Not gonna lie.
I don't either.
It's a difficult question.
It's a deep
so
thought. Cricket.
yeah.
Cricket.
Come back to me. Come back to me. How about you, Terrell? You've had a chance to think about.
See, that's not fair. You ask the same question that's asked to you. I hate that
Just-
deflecting.
I'm sorry, and I don't
Wow.
got anything. I want to, make it a good answer.
I don't know. Do people sit around and think about who they trust the most?
I think it's something that people don't do enough because it makes you realize who you go to in times of trouble because you
Yeah.
want to put that trust in them that they're going to help you with your problem,
Right.
or like if it's something personal or maybe a slightly embarrassing to you, you can go to them and they're not gonna completely just
Yeah.
make fun of you and make you feel bad about it.
I'm thinking, so I'm a part of like 2 or 3 small groups. I have, like my wife and I are part of a couples group that we call it the wine group because it's the only group that we ever really have any alcoholic beverages around. And so we call that our wine group. And then we're part of another group, and they're both couples groups. So we're part of another group, and we call them the basement group. And they're a lot more conservative and everything like that. So, and they definitely would not want any alcoholic beverages there. And then I have another small group that there's like 4 to 5 men that we have shared a lot of life stuff with. So that men's group would probably be the first place in my history I would have said that we trust each other the most. So, and then secondly would probably be my wine group people. They're my
Yeah.
buds and pals and like their family. We're knit together with a lot of stuff. So
So
now,
more-
out of those individually, I don't know that I would go, I trust this person the most,
Mm-hmm.
but they all know quite a bit about me. And sometimes I'm too open of a book. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it also depends on the person to like how trusting they are. I can see that I'm more trusting person than my mom. It's really a personality thing.
we should have had a
Yeah.
male-female thing going on here because I'm
Yeah.
wondering, from my outside obscure observation, I feel like men trust quicker than women do.
well,
That's a fair assumption.
so I'm kind of the opposite spectrum. I am very slow to trust and open up to people, right? When it comes to meeting a new person, I'll be nice and stuff like that. But as far as I'm just really concerned about their view of me and what that is. So because of that, I like walk on ice, on eggshells, however you want to put it, just so I can kind of get that, so they like me. And that's something that I'm always trying to work on. Is just trying to be myself in like all situations, and not worrying about, oh, is this random person I'm never gonna meet again? Are they gonna like me? And it comes to that. So I oftentimes I'll not have the connection with the person that I could have had, and then it kind of leads to a lack of trust. And especially when it comes to just people in my life, I don't open up to them all the way, and so there's a lot of layers of, what information do I want to share, and just keeping stuff to myself. And that's something I'm working on, because it's not something I like to,
Yeah. Like good friend of mine gave me like this, analogy that we have like certain bubbles that we let people in, and so like for example, like there's like outside the big bubble, there's strangers, and then inside are friends, inside close family, and right in the very middle is us. So what goes on in your head to yourself, and some people were willing to let in the little bubble and express what we're thinking.
I visually saw the onion when you were starting to do the. I was going with layers. You said the circles and circles, and I was like,
And-
oh, it's like the onion.
So-
Yeah,
Bubbles.
bubbles instead of onions.
Layers.
Bubbles and onions.
It's a little,
What a-
little uncomfortable when you pop the bubble.
cool.
Yeah.
So that would be a really fun restaurant place.
Yeah.
Bubbles and onions.
Bubbles and onions.
Or peaches and onions.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
No,
Everyone would run from there. That's a disgusting combination.
no,
Bananas and onions.
no. Like
Well,
have you seen Holes?
No,
Holes.
I've never seen a hole in my life.
No. No. Holes. Holes in the movie.
Yes, I have.
So peaches and onions like together is like a deodor thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it could
I
be
didn't make that connection.
could be a brand like Old Spice or
It
something.
could be. It could be. When you were talking about like letting people in or whatever, and like you're worried about what people will think, it reminded me of a couple of years ago. I went to a conference out in Colorado, and there was a lot of discussion about posing and or who versus who we really are, and so how many times we actually pose for the people that we're with and around, because we have this level of acceptance that we think that is only acceptable. Like we don't really trust we don't trust our true selves, evidently, to put our true selves out there. So maybe it's that we really don't, inwardly like who we are, or believe that we are good enough, or that we are enough, so we don't put ourselves out there. And so that was sort of with this conference, and it was a large group of men as well, which was really strange and weird and cool at the same time to be there and talking about like your different inward wounds, and then how that affected you as a man, and then it affected your posture and your posing or not posing. So the group I was talking about of men, that's what we kind of practiced, was to not pose, but to truly break down those walls and be ourselves. and we were able to practice that around each other, so that we'd be safer to go do it around others as well, in their families and in communities and stuff. So it's kind of interesting.
Cool beans.
Cool beans. Trust or lack thereof.
Yeah. So trust starts on a self level.
I think
Right.
so.
So in order to trust another person, you need to trust yourself to trust them.
I look at
You gotta trust yourself as like, should I share this?
Yeah.
There you go.
so this last weekend I was at a little strange beauty pageant, which is really odd. I wasn't in it.
It's a.
I did make it on stage and waved at everyone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. A
Wow.
family member,
Oh, wow,
a soon-to-be
Gerald.
family member that we were with, was crowned a lifetime queen, and so she and her family, we were invited up on stage, and they sang a song and did a little dance and gave her this beautiful crown and stuff. But during that whole process, there was a lot of little kids that were in the pageants and stuff, and there was a lot of posing, a lot. Like there's a lot of makeup and hair and stuff that was very different than just normal walking around the streets, and some of it was kind of scary because like a 6-year-old looked like the head of a 20-year-old
Oh my.
on a 6-year-old body, and you're like, I was like, okay, that's wrong, but it was really weird.
Yeah.
But then to see the kiddos in their natural state, like if music would come on, they would just dance like crazy or whatever. And I've seen this different times with children, that they're just like full on in something and don't care what people around them think or their response. But like if music would strike up right now for us, like how many people would just, if they feel like dancing, would just get up and just wiggle and move around just freely.
Yeah.
Like I would, but that's also a personality thing.
Right, and probably me too. But there's a wall that's built up with some people. Like it feels like the younger you are, the less reserved you are, and the more it's okay to be yourself. But then at some point, there's this switch that goes, no, you cannot do that or be that. It's not no, So you like squish it in, and so again, that creates that form of posing, because you have to like be a certain presentable way to the world.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we should all just be inappropriate, but there's a level of like
Yeah.
prison or bondage that happens when that is broken like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And
Maybe that's a weird place to go with that trust, but that's what I see in my head.
Yeah, and it's kind of showing up just where we are as a people, right? Because we, especially with like social media, right? You take a picture,
Oh.
you don't like it, you put something else on you.
Yeah.
You look for what you think is right. You don't put what is actually yourself. And that's all around you, right?
It is.
And that's just where, as a society, we have come to.
Yeah.
That you need to put this forward, and you need to
Yeah.
look this sort of
The
way. Not
best.
saying that everyone is like that, but it's just
But
kind
we
of
have a tendency for
Yeah.
that. Yeah. That's what we think is the normal. And then our normal, if we compare it to everybody else's normal that's presented out there, our normal is like so far off that you like, something's wrong with me. But in reality, it's everybody's story that's there.
Yeah.
I know with my dad, I took a lot of pictures when my dad in his passing. I have a timeline in my phone of like different, every week I would have pictures with him or of him. And there was a point when I stopped posting pictures because it did not look pretty and it did not look good. It looked tough and sad and hard, and I'm like, why did I stop? Why would I not? But it felt wrong to do that. And then even in like when he passed, then the making up the body for the viewing, like you put a fake look on that too, and that's again that's a weird dynamic that it feels like we have to pose a lot. And is that because we don't trust that we're not good enough, or what is that?
Probably insecurity.
Yeah. So insecurity is connected with trust.
Wow, that's deep, Daryl.
Yeah. We're getting
Maybe I should get a rope and pull it out so I don't go too deep. Pull back.
Yeah, kind of on a similar note, this past week I kind of over, was it Labor Day that just happened?
It was,
Yeah, I always forget the names. Kind of a bunch of holidays mixed up.
I get Labor Day and Memorial Day confused.
Yeah, that's
What a day
Yeah. But anyhow,
for Morgan. Right there. What a day.
I'm a very amateur videographer right now, and I'm just kind of experimenting around. And I did a mowing thing where I just worked on different shots of just seeing what I could do with the camera. And I just mowed the lawn. Really simple, just trying to expand my skills. Right, there really wasn't much of a point, just to see what I can do and what I had available. But one thing I told myself, because in the past I kind of, when I'm the subject of my own video, I'm like very critical. Like I don't look so decent in that particular shot. I can't use it now. But I'm like, okay, going into this, I'm gonna take it for what it is. I'm going to be real with myself because I can't really change, my appearance and what I look like on the spot, and I want to work on this. I'm like, whatever I get, I'm gonna work with.
Raw footage.
Yeah.
So
And for me, that was just like some big step forward of like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with it. It is what it is, and I'm gonna put it out there.
So I don't know if you've had an experience working with other people, but if you were directing other people, how would that change? Or would it be the same? As in trusting them or being so precise in your direction?
As far as working with other people, I just as far as directing,
Mm-hmm.
you go out there, you get it, and a lot of it's just reassuring, right? Hey, you don't look bad. It looks fine. You're being silly, and I have to tell myself the same thing. You have to just help them realize the truth that hey, it's fine.
Okay.
You're making a mountain out of a molehill type.
So
scenario.
so it's a positive criticism.
Yeah,
Okay, I figured that.
and
What's weird is though people have already seen all the angles that you're probably talking about, and have accepted those. But then when you look at a different angle at yourself,
yeah,
it's like a blind spot you've never seen before. I know in Hollywood they have those. You only show certain angles or areas or whatever because the people like shy away from those blind spots that you don't recognize or aren't comfortable with. So, my left ear. No one ever should photograph my left ear.
I mean,
They're looking at my left ear now. I was being silly and
Okay.
making no point at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Both ears look fine.
Marilyn Monroe really only had one ear. Look at her photographs; they're only one angle. I'm just kidding.
Well, like if she got away with it, like her
What just
hair
happened
was
right there
gonna-
was trust breached.
yeah.
I had them
And
they
I'm-
reeled in, and then
and
they're
I'm
like,
also-
"What?
We
Oh,
got burned.
oh, well,
I'm-
never
I'm-
again."
I'm also pretty gullible, so.
You are pretty.
Aw,
Oh, so pretty.
I'm so pretty. That's so pretty.
Yeah, where's that cricket at?
It's in the kitchen, and thankfully you can't hear it that well.
So back to trust,
Yes.
and then the broken trust.
Mm.
So that's usually a big thing when you have trusted, and then that is compromised.
Trying to think
And
of it.
all
Think
of
of
a
a
sudden-
situation where trust could be broken. See, someone else broke my trust. How would I react?
So with me, I am very quick to forgive those around me, but like not myself in this scenario. But like someone breaks my trust, sometimes I'm too quick to trust them again.
Mm.
I mean, and forgiveness is a very important part
I agree.
of life.
Mhm.
But sometimes, they break that you need to kind of take a step back and make sure, can I do that again? And sometimes I don't do that part, and I just full on right back in it, nothing happened, and then it hurts me.
Repeat pattern.
Yeah, repeat pattern.
Boundaries are important.
Yeah, and
It's hard to establish them sometimes.
I'm still thinking up a scenario or something.
One of the most common in today is like you share like some personal information with someone, and then they go and they tell.
Yeah, and somebody tells somebody else, and then it's like, wait a minute, how did that happen?
How did that get out?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It was like,
That's the first thing that my mind is jumping to.
This might not come out well, but I'm thinking, what if we got all the recording done for the podcast, and it was specially themed, and I say, Matthew, don't release this until such and such, and then he just releases it as soon as possible. Would I trust him to listen to me on my deadlines? Not as much.
Yeah.
did that happen?
No.
Are we in trouble?
No,
Yeah,
Are we going to have to
it
work
was-
through this problem?
It was,
Yeah.
Okay.
it was
I was looking for some subtle point here
Yeah,
being
for-
made. Like, oh no.
like, to be honest, it was. Maybe I'm a little too pokey proddy,
A pokey proddy.
but I like it get out faster, and I didn't necessarily have the equipment to get it out, and so
Yeah.
I was relying on other people to get it out.
So that's so trusting,
But
relying on
Then
others.
Yeah.
then I'm aware that people are busy, but I don't know how busy.
Yeah. I know that. I know what he's hinting at. Last
I
year,
don't. I'm on the outside, and that's okay.
Last year we had some episodes and kind of dropped the ball. I'll admit it. I'll apologize. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I didn't get it out probably as soon as I could. There was just a time that I had stuff going on, and it wasn't that I was so busy, but like when I wasn't busy, it wasn't on my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that I was just sitting around all day, just chilling and not thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So compromises and forgiveness
I was
trust.
I was thinking more of the line is, if it doesn't get done right, do it yourself. No, I'm kidding.
No, that is a stance also that is taken a lot of times with people whenever they're empowering other people. It's hard. It's hard to do that sometimes, to let things go, and that is a trust factor.
Mhm.
I know it's a trust fall that
Yes.
people do a lot of times on a lot of team building
Yeah.
exercises. They have like a ropes course and different things like that. It's a very physical representation of trust.
Yeah,
With a lot of different items.
I did a trust fall recently, and it was like off the stage or something, and oh my gosh,
oh
So
my.
did they catch you?
yes, they caught
I mean,
it.
you're here, so
Yeah.
I know it wasn't
Yes.
like life altering, evidently, but
No, yeah, it's very hard to for me personally to trust fall, because it's like, lay down flat, and you like recoil because it's like you don't want to hurt yourself.
yeah.
Natural.
Another big thing there is in relationships, just like so I'm the only one married, I assume, right? Matthew, you're not married yet?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
I don't see any ring on my hand. Okay, I'm good.
So you're not married either. Okay,
last
so
time I checked.
so that's another thing in that kind of a relationship is very important to be able to have trust. And I know I have some family members who have had that trust compromised, and it's really hard to ever trust again. And you kind of have that expectancy of well, everyone's going to fail me. Everyone's going to compromise, and it's going to be a thing there. So that's a hard pattern to break as well when it's all around you.
Yeah,
And you
it's-
see it happen?
It's hard to reestablish trust for
It
someone
is.
who keeps making
Right,
mistakes
over and over again.
and not really learning.
Yeah. And the more times that you have had that trust compromised, the harder it is for you to trust someone else who may in fact be trustworthy. And so that's really hard and frustrating for that person who is trying to gain the trust, because it has nothing to do with them why the person doesn't trust. So, because like my wife and our relationship, she trusts me, but she's seen a lot of people in their family pre me and actually during my life, like in her with her biological father, with her sister has a relational issue. Her aunts, there's a couple of them. It's like all around, and so it's like, oh, she's just kind of like waiting, which sounds really horrible. But that's kind of a recording that's in her brain is like, oh, everyone's just waiting for that to happen to them, you know. And it's a really hard place to be. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've done nothing, you know. But it's like, yeah, but when are you going to? And that's just really hard. And she didn't say that. I didn't mean it like that. But there's that little story that plays in people's brains, kind of going, okay, it's just going to happen. It's inevitable. You know, Matthew's going to let me down. I'm going to let Matthew down. You're going to let us both down. You know,
Don't let me down.
whatever it is. But it is a cool thing that we are able to forgive. And I think we can rebuild trust. I think. I mean, maybe there's a scar in the relationship that you go back and look at and go, yeah. And maybe you're a little bit wary, but I feel like that it is possible to rebuild trust. I hope. I keep hanging on to that anyway.
Yeah.
Some people, I think you establish a boundary and you go, okay, this is just really never going to work, and it's okay. We're going to move on.
Yeah. Which
You have to know that too.
it's a balance.
Yeah.
Which you can say
We
that
talked
about
almost
pretty much-
everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
anything in life.
Yeah.
If you just say it's a balance,
It's a balance.
you're usually right.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
It's all
In order to unlock the door,
Balance.
I must eat the key.
So do we have anything else as we get to the end of this?
The
We're
wisdom.
getting
Yeah, we're gonna wrap
Close
this
to
up
our-
like a Christmas present.
Christmas in September.
Yeah, just you wait.
Just
Cheers.
wait.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for
Christmas?
Christmas.
And that'll be in a future episode, possibly.
All right.
It's been a lovely time talking to you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Handshake.
And,
Handshake.
Crickets in the kitchen. Crickets in the kitchen.
and it's a wrap like a burrito wrap.
Oh, I'm just gonna go. But it's more like crunchy taco. All right.
Yeah.
And
There we go. All
Goodbye.
right. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.